What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Breaks Radio. I'm one of your hosts here, HAize, joined by the great one himself, Baylor the Great's in the building. What's going on, BTG?
Yay, yay.
We got a multitude of topics to get into, and unfortunately, the Didd'y stuff, it just don't stop. According to TMZ, Cassie is cooperating with the feds in regards to investigation on Didd'y, and that's not it. NBC News actually adds to this as well that there are other people who are cooperating as well in the investigation. What do you make? Like, it's just, does this just seem like it's a matter of time? I know we kind of already talked about that last week, but like the more that comes out, the more that it just seems like it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to who's cooperating and the information that they're bringing up at the end of the day. As of right now, we just know who's talking. We don't know what they're saying, you know what I mean? And we don't, because he hasn't been charged, right?
No,
He's outside in Miami riding bikes as of today.
Yeah, outside just chilling.
Yeah. So and you know, I don't want to be him, but if I had to be him, I know it's a lot going on through my head. Whether I knew I did it or if I didn't do it, still to be in a situation like this is crazy. Some people thinking this one of those things where another one of our quote unquote black leaders is being set up, and others is thinking he did it because not because of actually what has been said, because they just don't like him in general.
Yeah.
And that's just how the world goes. If you don't like a certain person, then whatever they said they did, they probably did it to you. You know what I mean? So all we can do at this point is just wait and see what's going to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but a lot of people, to your point, a lot of people is already siding with Cassie. They've been siding with her since the beginning. I mean, maybe a few people here and there was like, well, how you know some of those people, how come it took you so long to come out? How come his money involved, etc. And then you got the other people saying, well, he did kind of close that kind of quick.
Yeah. It's an interesting scenario, and like I said, I'm not one to pass judgment, and I'm not the law in a case like this. But what I will say in regard to it is just this: like, the truth is going to be the truth, and whatever happens from that and comes from that, I'm in support of that, and that's all I can say on that one for sure.
Well, how much of support are you standing by? Are you if it everything goes against him, what happens to his legacy as far as music?
That's the great question. I mean, I'm somebody who I can separate the art from the artist with certain things. I still don't listen to R. Kelly anymore, but I still do acknowledge that he is, I mean, he wrote and made some amazing music. So I think the legacy of Didd'y, I mean, if we're being 100% honest, has always been a little jaded anyway. Because when you look at how he's treated as artists, like we kind of just look past it, right? But there have always been those shady business practices there with Didd'y, and so now this on top of that, I mean, listen, the fact that Didd'y was a producer, it and I don't know if this is a double standard by me. If it is, Baylor, please hold me accountable, call me out. But it's still the artist, the rapper, the singer, whoever who had to bring it all together. So it's not like I'm not gonna boycott every song Didd'y ever produced, because he produced some amazing music for some amazing artists, and I think it'd be wrong to boycott that music for those artists that wrote and actually performed those songs. So I don't know. I'm over two places with it, bro. It's honestly a weird place to be in.
Well, his situation is just as far as music wise is a tad bit different, because with R. Kelly, you had him actually perform some great R&B songs himself, and he also wrote. In Diddy's case, he helped elevate the song, put the artists together. You know what I mean? So it's like his tagline is through a lot of different classics. You know what I mean? One of the most recent songs off of his album that I like, and to be honest with you, is only one song that I really like. The rest of the album is cool, but the song that he has with Mary J, that's one of my favorite songs of that album, and he's on that album. You know, and whoever wrote that verse for him did a good job.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So.
Yeah, like I said, it's just a weird place to be in, bro. Like Diddy's been a part of some all-time classic music and tracks. Like,
Yeah.
and it honestly, and Diddy's one of those people. It's almost nearly impossible to take his imprint out of the music game. Like you can't do it.
If you take away most of our moguls, you take away most of our library. Let's just
Yeah,
put it. Even the artists included. It's things that we don't know about our favorite artists. You
yeah,
know,
facts.
I'm
And I honestly don't want to know it all.
hey, I'm a Michael Jackson stan. You know what I mean? And he's been having allegations his whole life before he passed away and after he passed away. So you know how that is.
Yeah, we'll see, man. But from one bad boy to another in a lot of ways. Do you have anything left on the Puffy thing before we move on? I want to just skip past.
No, I just wanted to say everybody just gotta wait. That's
Yeah.
that to me. That's one of the HAize most classic lines, bro. We gotta wait until all the information comes out before we could go ahead and start posting stuff.
Yeah, like you see, I ain't posted nothing about it at all. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, the jokes, all the cartoon
No,
joints
the
that have
joke.
been
Yeah,
popping up.
good. No, that's part of our culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether you right or wrong, the jokes is coming.
Yeah, yeah, that's facts. That's facts. But yeah, we'll see, and we'll be here to keep covering it here at the Breaks Radio. But moving on from that, Baylor, G-Dep gets released from prison after a decade of being in prison. Has already talked about how he's going to go to college and things like that. He's going to pursue a bachelor's degree in business. On top of that, G-Dep, somebody who like went away for shooting, ended up turning into a fatal shooting. How do you feel about him getting out and the mayor, I believe, of New York, basically being a part of that?
I love to see it. I hate that it had to happen. I hate that he had to be involved in something because he was one of those up and coming artists that we had grew attached to pretty quickly. You
Yeah.
know, what I mean, talented. You know, so at this point is now we have to see him. This is like if we. I don't want to compare him to that player, but it's almost like watching an NBA player his whole career, and then seeing him after he retires. The problem is we never got to see G Dev's full career.
Yeah.
We got to see his rookie career, and now we got to see his retirement. So we missed a large portion of his career where I honestly it changes the landscape of hip hop because he was an artist that was to be reckoned with. He was solid, very
Yeah.
solid. So but it's good to see that. Look, if he has paid his debt to society and now he's home, I'm pretty sure a lot of family members or friends is happy that he's home. I thought it was is crazy that I seen the video today amongst the whole Diddy stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just crazy how that came out around that time, man. But yeah, G Dep was somebody who had tons of potential. Um, I think everybody saw it in him. Charisma out the wazoo. On top of that, like charismatic guy, man. And it sucks that the album, I mean, not the album, that his career went the way that it went, but the best thing that he can do is make the most out of it. And it seems like he spent that time behind bars, and he's gonna come out and have as a productive life as you can. And so that's all you can ask for.
Yep. Hopefully he gon' I mean, we know the story. We've seen the story before, whether it's we knew somebody personally or we watched it in a movie. But usually, cats like that get out and then they try to mentor the youngsters that might be
Mhm.
headed in that same direction. So he got a lot to talk about. I
That's
wouldn't even
tough.
my first thought wouldn't even think like, oh man, you about to get back into music. Nah, from what I seen in that video, it looked like he just want to be at home.
Yeah. And I can't blame him for that at all. I just want to have my black ass at home too, if I'm being 100% honest with you. So
Yep, it's been a while, bro. Wow.
yeah. All right, man. Moving on from that, prayers up to G Dep and his family, man, and hopefully he's able to enjoy that and like have a very productive rest of his life. He's still like it's not like he's not elderly. He has a whole lot of a life ahead of him, man. So
Yeah.
it's yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, I can see a lot of traveling in him,
yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what it is. When you get into that, when you get into your veteran contract of your life,
Hmm.
it's about collecting memories, traveling, family, fun, laughing, building up the youth. That's what it's about to me.
Agree with that wholeheartedly, brother. Um, Moving on to that. Still no response to K Dot.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk
So
about it.
I mean, and this has always been my problem with Drake, right? And I'll talk about it from both sides. Just follow me for a second, Baylor. Is that he's a front runner. Like he'll throw shots all day. If it's an artist that he knows is beneath him, he'll throw his little jabs, turn his little singles into quote unquote diss records. But when it's a true MC, we never see that same Drake. He doesn't keep the same energy. Now, on the flip side, just to offer a counter argument to my own point, some could say that Kendrick threw a jab. It wasn't a full diss track. Maybe Drake feels like he doesn't have to respond until it's something a little bit more vicious. But I don't know, bro. How you feeling about it, man?
Because this is why I'm not allowing him to have any excuses when it comes to hip hop. Hayes, you want to know why?
Yeah,
Because they didn't give Meek no excuses.
that's a
That's
fact.
why. That's why. And sure, it could be just a jab, but Drake throws jabs. He throws jabs at people that he he might be scared of, but he's gonna throw haymakers at the cats that he really want to bully.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So when it's time for him to bully people, he right up on it. And it ain't even all about Drake. Drake is the one who hides behind his fan base. Nicki Minaj too. Okay, and and a couple other people, they hide behind a fan base. And what that means is they allow their fans to dictate how stuff should go. That's not it never been like that. It never been like that. When we had diss tracks going back and forth, the artists never hid behind a fan base. All they did was just pay attention and put their ear to the
Yeah.
streets. Is you winning or not? You all right?
Yeah.
Now the fan base is talking about well, why does he have to respond so fast? He did it towards Meek
Mm-hmm.
back to back. And but when Hove responded to Nas, or when Nas responded to Hove, it took this amount of time. This time, no, we're not talking about that. This is a different era. When y'all praise him, y'all praise Drake for putting out so much music, and then turn around and say, "Well, K. Dot doesn't drop. He doesn't drop enough." Now that K. Dot has dropped, oh, he could take his time. He's on tour. Oh, he's doing this. He has a child to take care of. He has to do this. And bro, I'm not trying to hear none of that. I'm talking about strictly hip hop. As a matter of fact, I go even further. They could be best of friends outside of battle rapping. They could be best of friends. I don't care about none of that shit. I want to hear you respond. That is it, bro. That's it.
That's what it comes down to. You're not wrong about that. And I think people use that Nas thing, but I think people forget also that Takeover dropped on September 11th.
Mm.
September 11th.
A cold day to drop.
People had a lot of things more worried about than a dish. Like, don't get me wrong. I know it was talked about and everything, but like, let's be clear here. Everybody goes to that, but there was a whole bunch of other circumstances around Nas taking that long to respond to Takeover.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't get it, bro. I don't get how we
yeah,
keep making up excuses for this guy. This is the guy. This is the same guy who y'all tried to change the rules of battle rapping. Y'all tried to change the rules and say Pusha went too low.
he went too far. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He went too far, and then his man's came out and threw the white flag for him. You let another man throw the white flag in for you, throw the white towel in for you, and then gonna come behind and say, "Oh, but I had something ready." Bro, that don't count, man. It does
Yeah.
not count. We need to hear it. All it is, look, I get it. He has created this aura in his picture and his different demographics that appreciate him. And it's a lot of money that's behind Drake.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, they think because if he loses, that's going to take away from his brand. I don't think so. I think people are really hypnotized into being his fan base, and that's cool. I'm a Michael Jackson fan. I love Stevie Wonder. I like Pusha T. I like K. Dot. I say West Coast bias every day, and I stand on it. But I'm going to tell you why though. You need to respond. K. Dot already put y'all up on alert with the control verse, right? He's already done that. So people that don't really matter to us responding to him did, but not the other cats. And then J. Cole fans want to jump in and stuff like that. Look, J. Cole, I think that'd be much more friendly bat. It'll be much more of a lyrical battle going back and forth if K. Dot and J. Cole went back at it. But I think he's scared too.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, all this, he doesn't have to do this and he doesn't have to do that right now. I've heard everything from he doesn't have to respond because he's bigger than him. He's on tour right now, but he'll be following up soon. And you could tell the tone of his voice has changed towards the end of his concerts.
He hurt.
Bro,
He's hurt.
he's
Drake is
hurt.
hurt by this, bro.
He's hurt. And you know what? And it's deeper than that because now they talking about a civil war. It might be. It might be. Who's to say that K Dot is actually with Metro and Future? He probably just say, "Hey, bro, I got something to get off my chest. Let me just get on this track then." Or
Mm-hmm.
or Future could have hit him up like, "Bro, I got the perfect spot and a perfect song for you to get your shit off." And it just so happened that these other artists that's somewhat involved is going after Drake, and they trying to make it seem like he's the victim, and that's the part I don't like.
Yeah. It's a weird narrative spin, and they do the same thing. The same thing happened with Pusha. Like I remember when Infrared dropped, and then Drake responded. I remember Drake fans were taking a victory lap on
Mm-hmm.
social media when that
And
happened.
but they
And
didn't expect the counterpunch
the
though.
moment that Pusha dropped a story of Adidon, the whole thing changed. Everything changed. Now, like you said, they're changing the rules of battle. We gotta stop. If somebody's great, you don't have to keep moving the goalposts for them.
Don't
Greatness speaks for itself.
exactly. And you want to know what the sad part is? I'm glad you just said that. Oh my God, I'm glad you just said that. But the moment Infrared came out, he was ready for it. But he
Yeah.
wasn't ready for the follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
So now to me, I'm going to give Drake his credit when credit is due. I think he's one of the most smartest, intelligent artists we've ever seen in our lives. But you don't have nothing in the tuck for K Dot?
And this has been a cold war going on for a decade, bro.
How you
We're
know?
talking a decade, bro.
All right, man. I get
And,
it. I get it.
honestly, you know what? We need like, and since we're having this real conversation about it, let's take it a bit further. The fact is that Control dropped, and then what a month later, Kendrick did the BET cipher where he said tuck the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes.
Yep. The cipher.
You let
Yep.
that go by.
Ha ha.
Jokes on you. High five. Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we got to call it what it is. And until
Hey,
I see, if I see otherwise, I'm willing to backtrack off this. But until we see it and it's on wax, we got to call it what it is. Drake is afraid of K Dot. Period.
that's it. And that's it, bro. That's
That's
it.
just it.
That's it. It ain't nothing else. He still got the record for having the most summers, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it. He just passed Mike Jack, although we already know the real behind that physical, real copies versus streaming copies. I don't want to get into that. But look, whatever records you want to have, you and Caitlin Clark can have the same amount of records. But at the end of the day, you have to face K Dot. K Dot is the only kryptonite you've bumped in. No, I take that back. K Dot is the second kryptonite you've ever bumped into.
Yeah.
Now we
And
already
and,
know.
and
We
I
already know who
tell
the
you
first
what,
one.
you'll send Drake into PT. It'll never happen. But I would love to see K Dot and Pusha T go on tour at the same time, Drake and J. Cole on
If
tour.
you speak that into existence, I promise you, Jesus coming back the next day. I promise you, they will. Nah, man, I ain't doing that. I ain't. That's too
And you know
dangerous,
what's
bro.
funny? They could do that, and they only need 4 dates. And here's why I'm going to lay this out for you: New York,
Mm,
L.A.,
mm.
Toronto.
Okay.
They gotta do. They gotta do
Do you
Toronto
do you think that would happen though? I think
and,
I
and
personally
Miami.
I personally believe Drake has enough to shut down anything in Toronto. I think so. I'll give him that.
I
Cause
mean, but
get,
if that
cause
was
get,
true though, because when Kendrick did his Big Steppers tour, he had 2 dates in Toronto.
yeah, but this is prior to this is
Yeah, true. I
this is
mean,
prior to this
it's a possibility.
because look to Drake's fans' point, we ain't heard from him. So if y'all ain't heard from him, we ain't heard from him. You think everything is all right, cool. We not cool, but you ain't saying nothing about me.
Yeah,
So it's one of those. If I see you, head nod, and we keep it pushing. Now he came out and said something. Hey yo, and I really think K Dot don't like him, but I don't think it's to the point where it's like personal. I think he's just picking on him as an artist.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. That's it.
I think that K Dot looks at Drake as a rapper, not to say what he's accomplished as an artist. These are two different things, and we need to start being able to talk about this. I think K Dot looks at what Drake is as a rapper and says he's not that good.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And his fans take it personal. Look, I'll be
Yeah,
honest with you. I say West Coast bias, but you can challenge me, and there's some stuff I would agree with. But I'm going to stand on what I'm saying, bro. He's scared of K Dot. He just so happened to be from Compton. He's scared of
yeah,
pushing from Virginia.
yeah.
So it's like, bro, y'all can't just stop making up excuses, bro. That's all I'm saying. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. They want him to be undefeated, bro, and that's the saddest thing. I've never met anybody really undefeated. The Nas and Jay-Z beat each other. If you let the fan base, both fan bases talk about it,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
ain't
it's
nobody perfect, bro. Nobody.
yeah,
A lot of people like I thought it was cool, but I'll even side with them. They said Common killed Ice Cube. All right, cool. All right, y'all got it on that, but I'm not even about to dispute that when he got him. You know what I'm saying? Lauryn Hill killed Pac. Come on.
I mean, but at that point in time, I don't think Pac could have ever really responded to Lauryn Hill. But Lauryn Hill got bodies because she also bodied Wyclef John. So I mean, this is
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill was vicious back in the day. But yeah, man, great conversation on that, man. We just got to stop changing the rules are the rules, bro. And like
Yeah.
and to just bring it all home, you don't have to move the goalposts for greatness. That's
You
it.
don't. You don't. You right. You right. You right. You right. Because when J. Cole bullied Lil Pump, oh my bad. Lil Pump. That's a great battle right there, J.
That's
Cole and
crazy.
Lil Pump. Shout
That's
out.
crazy. We're gonna save the album reviews till we're all together again. But I do want to talk to you about this before we get up out of here, Baylor. This Good Times reboot, the animated series, bro. This just does not feel right. Did you see the
Okay.
trailer to
Yes,
this?
yes, I did. Now, I will say this. I have to admit this. I'm a fool for when I see new animation.
Yes.
Especially when I see black animation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm scared too, but I still have to see how it goes. Because if the message in there is solid, okay. But if they out there just, you know, BSing and jumping around, I'm not going, yeah, it's not gonna last. And they'll know. They'll know. Because we live in an era where your pen gotta be nice. And I'm not talking about in rapping or R&B. If you can't write out some good shows, that them seasons ain't gonna last that long. Cause they getting rid of good franchises. So we'll see. I got to give it a chance, though. I got to give it a chance. Give me at least 2 or 3 episodes before I throw it away, or I'll say it's manageable.
Here's my thing. The animation doesn't look bad, but it's not Good Times. At least it doesn't feel that way from the clip that they released. Now, I my problem with this is that it's led by Seth MacFarlane, who's known for Family Guy.
Yeah.
Now he hired. Now he's the producer. There is a white woman that not a white woman, a black woman that is the showrunner. But to me, this just feels very bad right now. It feels because to me, why of all people to reboot Good Times, how the fuck did it wind up in Seth MacFarlane's hands?
Yeah, and
He was always with Cleveland Brown.
everybody that's black ain't black. But yeah, I know. It's always and when you find out the people that's behind it, you always gonna have some type of you're always gonna feel some type of way about it. But let's just give it a chance, a couple of episodes, and if it'll show how inconsiderate or unprepared this show was in this era, in this climate, this culture. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So if the talking points and the bullet points aren't driven the right way during these episodes, when you add in the comedic aspect to it as well, you're going to find out that viewership, it tells a lot, and you can't play with the numbers with that. The network ain't going to allow you to manipulate the numbers on that one.
And my thing is that, like, again, we'll see the episode's released on the 12th. So that's only 8 days away, less than a week away.
This
But
feels like the PJs all over again.
but see, that's the thing. You could have made something completely brand new. Nothing about what I saw in this clip felt like Good Times to where it had to be branded Good Times. You could have did the same concept, same characters, changed the names, and called it whatever, and most people would have tuned in because people love animation.
Some people, I mean, to be honest with you, there's a large portion of black people that don't like the Good Times show, the original.
That's true as well.
Yeah, so we'll see.
We'll see, man.
You probably won't be getting those views. Probably wouldn't be getting no views from them, but we'll
Yeah,
see, man.
we'll see what happens here. Any last thoughts? Anything, Baylor, before we get up out of here?
Yes, before I get up out of here, I must know you. I got to get your opinion on this because I'm actually the opposite when it comes to this. House Party, the original. Do you think
Mm,
it's considered a West Coast film or an East Coast film? Now, I want you before you answer fast because people on Twitter don't pay attention. I said
mm.
before you respond to this, be careful, think about it, and then give me your answers why. And they just say, yeah, West. Oh, super West Coast. Oh, it's West. They never gave me explain why it is. I got people. I got at least two or three group chats separate that's saying a lot saying West Coast, but I did have my brother 12 Cal. He's from South Carolina and Atlanta.
Mm.
He said he didn't find anything West Coast about it outside, at least outside of the house party, at least outside of the actual house party. What do you think?
And I think that's why it feels West Coast to me because the title of the movie is House Party, and the house party part of that feels very West Coast, at least from again an outsider looking in. What like back then as well, especially in the '90s, what like West Coast culture felt like and the vibe of West Coast. That's what House Party feels like to me during the house party segments.
Do you know when house party came out?
1990, wasn't it?
Early 90s, right?
Yeah.
Now, when did Boys in the Hood and Menace Society come out? 92.
92. Okay.
92. So I can tell you right now, born and raised in LA,
Mm-hmm.
I was born into the gang culture.
Yeah.
Los Angeles is identified through the gang culture. House parties, especially. There was no evidence, indication of any type of gang members throughout that whole movie. Yes, you
That's
had
true.
your classic bullies at school.
Mm-hmm.
That happens in any region, right?
Yeah.
There was none of that. Now, the house party, Bilal's house, yes, you can look at the house and be like, that looks like one of those West Coast, West LA houses, etc. That's cool. They even have the houses addresses out here. Yes, it was filmed in LA, but what was LA about it? I still can't find it. Now, the house party aspect, yes, I say West Coast bias. We own the house parties. We own that. But that doesn't
Mm.
mean people in New York, Chicago, Miami, Houston, they party too in houses and basements and attics or whatever the case may be. The directors from Chicago,
Yeah. And Kid and Player from New York. So
hidden players from New York. I heard the majority of the staff was from the East Coast. And it's not even about that because ASAP Rocky played a Inglewood gangbanger in
mhm.
Dope, right? He did a solid job, but there was no West Coast lingo, bro. They give me Ezell had a Jerry curl in house party. That's cool.
But
The
Jerry curls
house,
were everywhere around that part. That
Jerry
yeah,
curls was everywhere, bro.
yeah.
So what? The music, we didn't even have even no West Coast music on the soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken.
Is there was there really no? I gotta look that up now. Hold on. I mean, keep talking, but now I gotta you because you cooking.
Now, the second house party that was what they chalked that up to college, all
Yeah.
college, right? Then you got House Party 3, who introduces Immature. That was based in LA. You can't get around that. But the original House Party, outside of Cherie's projects, that's it. You know what I got? Oh, it was good weather the whole movie. It was good weather the whole movie. That's what we going with. We going with the Jerry curl, huh? We go. Oh, that's what they want to go with. Police brutality, nigga. That's everywhere. That is everywhere. But what I'm saying is there was no West Coast, there was no LA flavor
You
to
are
it.
100% right. There is not a single West Coast artist on this whole entire soundtrack.
But it's a but it's a West Coast. It's a West Coast movie. The only reason
And we lost Baylor.
my bad.
You good? You good?
God, dog. My work is just. Anyhow, let me put this shit on airplane mode. Um, yeah, there's no indication of anything in being West Coast about it outside of the actual house party. And the reason why this topic came up is because somebody on YouTube, which I thought was brilliant by the way, tried to put the correlation between house party and the first Friday, to where Pops divorced his wife, who was in both movies, moved to the Valley, became an apartment manager, and resents Craig because he is the son of her ex-husband, and that's the correlation that he built. He even did a whole the map of it, and
That's funny.
I said you could stretch it like that, but at the end of the day, for it to make sense, you would have to create something new in between to make it all make sense. Because yes, they do have similar actors and actresses that's a part of both movies. But I know a lot of celebrities that do that run with the same crew of people and keep making this not the same movies, but they have the same cast in different movies.
Yeah.
They do this, but I still can't find any type of evidence that says this is a West Coast movie. I can't.
For that, before we leave, it was the remake more West Coast to you than the original?
Yes, and it's not even about the location of where it was actually filmed, because that one wasn't even filmed in LA.
Yeah, it was filmed in Miami, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was out of state. But that was more LA. You want to know why? They did the same thing, White Man Can't Jump. Both movies. They showed landmarks of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knows LeBron James stays in LA. So that was the end that
Oh, well, no, it looks like it was filmed in Los Angeles.
what?
The House Party remake was filmed in Los Angeles.
Not well, damn. When we looked it up earlier, they said it was filmed in a different state.
So it looks, if
Because
this is correct, I mean, maybe it's not. I'm looking on Wikipedia. Wikipedia says, where was I just at? I was just looking at this. Where?
let me see.
Principal photography began on July 2nd, 2021 in Los Angeles.
Let's see. Damn, where did I find that at? Where did I find that at? We'll get down. We'll get down to
Yeah.
it. We'll get. We'll get back to it. But I was like, yeah, it's not even about the location or where they film at. Because I heard we filmed CSI out here,
Yeah.
CSI Miami or some shit like that in Long Beach. You know what I mean? So it's not exactly where you film it at, but it's the aesthetics, it's the culture. I didn't get West Coast culture in that movie at all, outside of the actual house party. But guess what? We weren't the only city or state that have house parties. We just talk about our house parties more. DJ Quick, Dog Pound, Snoop Dogg, Dre. We all talk about house parties. That's how we communicate. We go to a party, we dance, we listen to music and stuff like that. We share it with people. But I didn't. Dr. Dre don't make the soundtrack. DJ Quick, we don't get no DJ Quick. No, these cats was dressed like they were from Chicago. They was suited. They had on slacks, button downs, the whole nine. We wouldn't. I would. Nobody in LA was dressing like that in the 90s. We got laughed at and talked about because cats was walking around with Dickies on and Chucks. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. We would. They had on slacks and they was dancing choreography.
Crazy. Yeah, I feel where you're coming from in that. I feel where you're coming from. Like it's like I said, the house party aspect very much feels, and that's kind of the lasting impression because it is a house party movie. But I get what you're coming from as far as like you can have the vibe of something, but because technically we can throw a Cali style house party in New York at Mary's house.
Class Act was more of an LA movie.
That's true. I agree with that as well. So
So
Well,
That's a good debate. I might have to do a show on that, but that's all I wanted to bring up. Technically, it's part of hip hop culture as well. Two icons. Well, actually, more than two icons if you look at the whole list of
yeah.
people that was a part of that movie. But Kid and Play is iconic or whatever. And I did do my research. I watched half of it. I seen a couple of reviews as of lately. Nobody has mentioned anything about it being from West Coast or East Coast.
It's because at this point it's just part of the culture, right?
That's what I
Yeah.
said. I think if I want to give a director some credit, I would think that he just created a movie that we can all relate to, and
Yeah.
just pick the location where it wasn't gonna rain or snow.
That facts on that one. All right, man. Let's get up out of here, Baylor. Go ahead and give me your social media, man. Let's get up out of here.
At Baylor the Great on IG, at Baylorism on TikTok and Twitter.
You guys can follow me at CEO HAize on every social media platform. You can follow us collectively at The Breaks Radio. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, thebreaksradio@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail, 614-547-2039 with the number one spot for everything hip-hop related. We about here. Peace, y'all.
Yay.
This has been a presentation of the B.R.E.A.K.S Media.